I always had way more to lose than the people I was into it with. Those words hit completely different when you know what's been happening behind the scenes. And the person who said them? She just walked one of fashion's most prestigious red carpets looking absolutely stunning while others are watching their careers crumble in real time. But here's what nobody's talking about. The strategy behind staying above chaos when everyone around you is sinking. The calculated moves that turn reality TV fame into actual industry respect. And the one decision that separates people who rise from people who fall. What I'm about to show you isn't just about one person's success. It's about two completely opposite approaches to the exact same situation. One chose action, the other chose silence. One is booking major brand deals with tech giants. The other just lost their second major partnership in weeks. The contrast? It's about to blow your mind. And the lesson buried in this story? It'll change how you think about accountability, platform responsibility, and what it actually takes to build lasting success. Trust me, where this goes is absolutely wild. The revelations keep coming, and by the end, you'll understand exactly why some stars rise while others burn out. Before we dive into what's really happening behind the scenes of this absolute masterclass in career strategy, hit that subscribe button because this story has layers you won't believe. Smash that like button, and definitely hit that hype button. It supports the channel, and we need it for this series. What unfolds in this video? You'll want to be subscribed for every update. So let's start with where this story gets interesting. Monday, November 3rd, 2025. The CFDA Fashion Awards at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. This isn't just any event. Rihanna is there to watch A$AP Rocky receive the Fashion Icon Award. Supermodels everywhere, the biggest names in American fashion being honored, and stepping onto that red carpet in a custom chocolate brown strapless floor-length suede gown. Olandria, designer Brandon Blackwood, who created her dress, chose her as his date for one of fashion's biggest nights.
If you needed any further proof that Olandria Carthen is a star, I mean, just take a second to look at her last night at the 2025 CFDA Awards. First off, she walked the carpet with designer Brandon Blackwood. If you don't know who Brandon Blackwood is, he is a fashion designer who went viral back in 2020 for selling this tote. Her making the decision to work and walk with Brandon Blackwood last night just tells me everything I need to know about Olandria. She is genuinely trying to use her platform for good.
Now here's why this moment matters. The internet absolutely lost it.
I was about to go to bed, but my ass is popping on here because the fuck? We need to talk about how good Olandria looks at the CFDA Awards. Her and Brandon Blackwood ate that, and I mean tore. Which, by the way, can we talk about how messy the Vogue editors are by using the song Don't Ya? This ain't about 404, and I refuse to make it about 404. But that's a song that she was calling herself being shady at the damn Halloween party. So for the Vogue editors to go and put that in the video, I'm sorry, that it was funny as fuck. Like, somebody on that team is tuned the fuck in, okay? Also, can we talk about Angel Reese and Olandria? They look so good together too. But y'all, what the fuck? Olandria is a supermodel. I've been saying that since the beginning, but it's so obvious. And the styling team that she got after she left the villa, they did their fucking big one, period. Because everywhere she's been, she has not missed one single look. And now she's at the CFDA Awards? Like, that is crazy, y'all. This is insane. She's a fashion girl. Simple as that.
Fans were calling it a no-notes masterpiece. But what makes this appearance truly significant isn't just the glamour. It's what's been happening behind the scenes for the past 5 months while she's been building this career trajectory. Because while she's ascending in the fashion industry, there's a coordinated harassment campaign that's been targeting not just her, but multiple people connected to her. Chelley was at the same event and gave her thoughts on the recent drama.
I loved you on Love Island.
Oh, thank you.
I have to ask, Ace is not here tonight.
No, he's not. He's in LA.
Together,
of
yeah?
course, that's my man. I love him down.
So, Olandria has been going through a tough time, of course, with everything going on with your co-star HUDA. Why was that important to support your friend during a situation like that?
First and foremost, I mean, that's something like that whole situation in general, I can relate a lot to it. And one thing about it, I'm always going to speak out for people who are facing discrimination, racism, anything like that of that nature. And especially me being a black woman myself, like, it's like, you know, I want to stand up for her and be there for her. And also, Olandria is an amazing person in general, so it's like, you know, she doesn't deserve none of that. No one deserves any of that, you know? Nobody.
Have you spoken to HUDA?
No, I haven't. But you know what? All the best to her, though. Like, I hear she's doing amazing things. So like I said, I'm rooting for everybody. I hope everyone's doing amazing.
But Olandria's response? That's where this story gets really interesting. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What does it mean when fashion's elite choose you for their biggest night? But wait until you hear about the brand partnerships she's securing. Because this isn't just red carpet appearances, this is strategic business moves that tell you everything about her approach. So let's talk about the kind of deals Olandria is landing, because this is where you see someone's values and business acumen. Olandria partnered with Microsoft Copilot, Microsoft's AI-powered assistant, to spotlight her alma mater, Tuskegee University. She used the tool to highlight notable alumni like Lionel Richie and the significance of the Alabama city that birthed the first Black American military pilots. Her Instagram caption, "Bridging history and innovation with Microsoft Copilot." Think about that choice for a second. She could take any brand deal, any partnership, but she's choosing ones that allow her to uplift HBCUs and highlight Black excellence while working with a tech giant. That's not accidental. That's someone who understands that the partnerships you choose define your brand long-term. Olandria explained she wanted to attend an HBCU because she wanted to be in an environment where she felt seen. Now she's using her platform to make others feel seen too. But here's what's really fascinating. This is happening while others in her exact situation are losing partnerships. The contrast in approaches, it's about to get even more stark. Let me know below. Is this the blueprint for a meaningful brand strategy? And then there's the partnership that proved her commercial power. Olandria teamed up with NYX Professional Makeup to launch the Nicolandria Lip Combo, a $15 lip kit inspired by her signature look and relationship with Nick van Steenbergen. The result? Sold out within hours. Not days, hours. Fans flooded NYX's website so hard that backorder notices went out before the official announcement. Social media exploded. Selling out before the official drop? Olandria is a star. Here's what this proves. Where some Love Island contestants fade, Olandria is breaking the mold, turning fan support into commercial success. Her collaboration validates her popularity and shows how brands are leveraging fan communities in real time. Microsoft and NYX aren't small players. These are major companies making strategic decisions about who represents their values, and they're choosing her. Now, here's where this gets interesting, because her success is happening against a backdrop of absolute chaos that would derail most people. But her response to it? That's the real story. Comment your honest take. What does a sellout launch within hours actually mean for career trajectory? Alright, so here's what we need to briefly touch on, because context matters for what comes next. For the past 5 months, there's been a coordinated harassment situation. Without going into excessive detail, because we covered the full scope in our recent Gymshark video, here's what you need to know. At the reunion, Olandria stated,
But HUDA, why didn't you do the post that Olandria asked you?
I was dealing with so much outside of that. I didn't know what to say in that moment because I was dealing with so much. I wanted to address more than just that.
Truly wish you would have just prioritized that moment to just address the racism and the bullying towards me and Chelley.
I was getting hated on as well racially.
I get that, but your face was not plastered on fucking George Floyd's body.
I didn't even
Mine
see
was.
that.
And I took that shit is hurt. That shit hurt.
And I'm sorry.
That shit hurt, bro.
I'm really sorry.
We was close.
I'm really...
now to remind everyone of what she's talking about with the mean girl narrative.
And no one gave a fuck about my opinion. I would try to talk about things in a lot of scenarios where there's a lot of situations where I would be like, hey, can I talk to this about you? Or do you think this? And people would dismiss me multiple times in the villa. I felt like I had no one. Like I wanted to talk about things with people and no one would give a fuck. And I think that a lot of people were just talking to Chelley and there was things that were said that weren't said. And it's just like, you're dragging, you're making things seem otherwise. And that to me up now, everyone is ganging up on my ass. And all you could have done is had a conversation with me.
But
who was there for me through all of that? Everyone was with HUDA because HUDA was crying about Jeremiah not comforting her and my man just went home. So like nobody was really comforting me.
this is what sparked the fire for her fans to attack Olandria and Chelley after the villa. The level of racist attacks on them were what Olandria and Chelley were begging her to address at the reunion.
It looks like it's official that both Chelley and Olandria have now unfollowed HUDA, and to be honest, I was waiting for this to happen. I am someone from day one. Episode 1 made it very clear these two were my favorites, and I was very iffy about HUDA. The way HUDA went about her interview with Entertainment Tonight, saying that she was bullied in the villa, is actually crazy when, one, she said on Call Her Daddy that Sierra was fake, which means that to her face, Sierra was kind, which we saw on the show. So in that regard, you clearly were not bullied. So if it wasn't Sierra that bullied you, who were you talking about? Could it be the two women that are being bullied, ripped apart, and left with racist comments by your fans that you never even addressed? As a viewer, it was very obvious throughout the season that Chelley and Olandria were sick and tired of having to deal with the HUDA drama. Whenever she would talk to them, they would sit there quietly. That is not bullying. The craziest thing of it all was the fact that HUDA fans tried to say that Chelley was a mean girl because she addressed HUDA one time during a challenge. She didn't call her outside of her name. She didn't cuss her out. She didn't drag her. She didn't scream at her. She just expressed how she felt, and somehow that made her a mean girl. And even when HUDA wanted to have a conversation with her a few nights before that, she said, right now I'm agitated and I don't think it's best for us to have a conversation.
That is actually mature. And everybody was saying the heart rate challenge was just a challenge, just a challenge. Meanwhile, Huda admits on Call Her Daddy that she had feelings for Ace. The only reason I watched that interview was to see if she would take any accountability, and I know her fans love to say, oh, she changed, she took accountability, but please stop. Yes, she admitted that she got too intimate with Jeremiah right away, but she also did the same thing with Chris. That's not really changing. And while she might not have cussed him out and yelled at him, the habits were still there. Yes, a lot of people stand by Huda. She has so many fans validating her and harassing these two women. The fact of the matter is, Huda has pretty privilege. If she was what society considered as plain Jane, she would have been eliminated from week 1 and people would have forgotten about her. And if she was a black woman acting the way she did with Jeremiah, I can guarantee she would not have the support she does today. I honestly hate that their experience has turned into what it has. Chelley's taking a break from social media. Olandria is not in a good mental state. Nick constantly has to take the phone from her because she's reading nasty comments. And the fact that Huda still hasn't said anything is actually crazy. And while I understand that Huda's been through so much trauma growing up, so has so many other people, and I guarantee they have their own stories. It just doesn't give her an excuse to act the way she does. And the fact that she feels so validated in her behavior is probably the craziest part of it all.
But even to this day, it was never addressed, and the consequences are what we are witnessing this week. Get this though, she's thriving not despite the challenges, but by strategically using them to show her character. That's next level thinking. 5 months of escalating toxicity, multiple people affected, death threats sent, and through it all, one approach was silence. But Olandria's approach? Completely different. And that difference is why we're talking about her success story instead of her downfall. Tell me in the comments, at what point does how you respond to chaos define your entire trajectory? Because what she did next is exactly what separates people who rise from people who fall. And the contrast is absolutely stunning. So what did Olandria actually do when faced with racism and harassment? Because this is the masterclass. She issued a clear, powerful statement. I do not condone racism of any kind, nor do I entertain it. That kind of language is never acceptable. Not in anger, not as a joke, not ever. Words like that carry generations of pain, and pretending otherwise only keeps the cycle going. But she didn't stop at words. She continued, I will not let this moment derail my purpose of uplifting my community. I'm standing firm in who I am, and using this as an opportunity to call for real accountability and awareness. And then, this is crucial, she made it actionable. She encouraged people to donate to UNCF, NAACP, and the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. That's not performative. That's using your platform to actively fight the problem instead of ignoring it. That's directing energy towards solutions. The contrast with 5 months of silence? Absolutely devastating. And here's what brands see when they look at this. Someone who addresses problems head on, takes action, and uses their influence responsibly. That's someone they want to work with. Drop your thoughts below. Is this what real accountability looks like? During that CFDA interview, when asked how she stays above the chaos, Olandria revealed her entire strategy.
With reality TV, I feel like whatever happens afterwards, it's not the same for everyone, but I feel like your star has just skyrocketed. You are shining brighter than ever. What do you think it is that it's setting you apart and making you bigger than the program?
I think I took a different route. I didn't really go into like the whole content creating thing. I'm not saying that's bad, but like that's just not me. So I kind of wanted to be a little different, do more speaking engagements, talk about uplifting education, HBCUs, things like that, breaking out into the fashion industry, like trying to find different lanes. I didn't want it to be stuck in one box,
One thing that, I will say immediately jumped out, and also for a lot of people, is your poise, your grace, the way you carry yourself. How do you stay above it even when you're dragged into the mess?
Honestly, even when I was younger, I always had way more to lose than people that I was like kind of into it with. I had scholarships, I had awards, and I have all these things. So I couldn't really act out the way I wanted to because I had way more to lose than them. So it kind of started at an early age. And honestly, I'm so grateful for it because now it makes it way more easier to be poised in those moments that I really want to say something,
Even when I was younger, I always had way more to lose than people I was into it with. That's the key. She's not pretending it doesn't affect her. She's acknowledging she wants to respond emotionally, but she's making strategic choices instead. She told Ebony magazine, from the minute you step out of that villa, you're under a microscope. Every expression, every moment. What helped me stay grounded was remembering who I was before the cameras. She's been open about how exhausting it is navigating the mean girl narrative and having to tone down reactions to avoid villainization. I truly feel like me and Chelley have to tone down a lot to not cross over that boundary. She sees the game. She understands the rules. And instead of complaining, she's winning by being strategic. Let me know what you think. Is this the kind of wisdom that builds lasting careers? So where is all this leading? Because fans are already predicting the way Olandria and her team is moving. My sister will be at that Met Gala 2026. And honestly, that's not far-fetched. She's been to the VMAs, the US Open, appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, now the CFDA Awards. Major designers are choosing her for fashion's biggest nights. In an interview with business podcaster Jason Tardik, she revealed she hopes to partner with Skims, viewing Kim Kardashian and Emma Grede as business inspirations. Just to have a woman that looks like me, it's so easy for me to see myself in that position. You know what I mean? Because representation is everything. Remember, she graduated from Tuskegee University with a degree in logistics, materials, and supply chain management in 2022. She understands business fundamentals, and it shows in every strategic move. This isn't influencer fame. This is someone building an actual fashion career with staying power. Meanwhile, as we covered in our Gymshark video, others are losing brand deals and facing financial consequences for the exact situation she's rising above. The lesson is crystal clear. Your response to adversity doesn't just affect your present, it determines your entire future. Comment your predictions. Where does this trajectory lead in the next 2 years? So here's the full picture. Olandria is at the CFDA Fashion Awards serving glamour. She's secured Microsoft, Sweetgreens, DoorDash, and NYX partnerships. She's using her platform to uplift HBCUs and fight racism. She's speaking out clearly against hate while directing people towards solutions. And she's doing all of this while navigating 5 months of harassment that others stayed silent about. Her explanation at the CFDAs revealed everything. She's always had more to lose, so she learned early to be strategic, poised, and focused on long-term thinking. That discipline is paying off in every aspect of her career. Fans are predicting Met Gala appearances. Designers are booking her for major events. Brands are securing partnerships. The trajectory is undeniable. This is what happens when you choose grace over bitterness, action over silence, and strategy over impulsiveness. This is what rising above actually looks like. The contrast with losing partnerships and facing financial consequences? It couldn't be more stark. Should all influencers follow this blueprint? Is speaking out against racism while providing actionable solutions the standard? Does strategic grace actually beat staying silent? If this breakdown showed you what strategic career building actually looks like, hit that like button and subscribe for more analysis that highlights people doing it right. Hit the hype button to support the channel. Remember, some people rise while others fall. The difference isn't luck, it's choices. Olandria is showing us exactly what the right choices look like. Until next time, spilling the tea one drop at a time.